How's it going, guys? Today I want to go over how the altcoin market is about to go up in a big way, and also just go over trade justifications on all my current positions that you see here, and I have another position on a sub account, but I'll mainly focus on Ethereum, Tau, FTM, uh, Pepe has 1,000 Pepe to um, shift over the decimal place, and also Solana, and also go over price projection slash predictions of all of these tokens. So let's begin. All right, let's get some clean charts up in here. I might start with Ethereum and how I went about taking that long, and I actually had a long down here on Ethereum, but I got stopped out. I let the thing run and looked for my next opportunity, right? And I'll be utilizing an indicator that I've created and I've mentioned in previous videos. It's called the long indicator. So in a bull market, I utilize this as a check on where the 1618 fib is projected in my measure. And usually for Ethereum, the 10-minute indicator in a in an uptrend is a very strong target rich environment where when pinged it gives a high probability that the bottom for that level is in. And as you can see from my entry, I'll refer back to where is it, Ethereum here. My entry is at this place right here. So I didn't enter the peak of bottom here, I entered at the second trigger here. But why did I do that? The Ethereum BTC chart is something that I've been looking over very closely and monitoring where that potential pivot would occur for the bottom, right? And I think it's occurring right now. And what I'm seeing is a similar structure to the far left side here in 2017. And how I've done that is, and in certain conditions, this is how I will project bottoms, including on Bitcoin. If you look at my Bitcoin macro high and low measurement video, which you can find on my channel, I don't have that many videos, is I take the swing high and swing low like this, and the swing high again, and project down 1618 on particular structures. And in this case, for Ethereum, I know people have like really different ways of doing this. They might like order block, whatever, this, that, and like they have like all these assumptions. But this keeps things extremely simple, and it works across pretty much all assets universally if you know how to apply it. And obviously, if we run up on Ethereum, the price is bullish against the USDT pair, and we've swept this 1618 level at the bottom as per this similar structure on the left side. I think I'll be taking that trade. And also you can see my stop loss for this has risen up as well, so I've stopped it in profit. Ethereum is one of those trades that is just extra. If I feel like I had edge on the trade, I've just added to the trade in order to get some additional cash should the price continue to go up. And now I could even move this stop up a little bit more, but I'm going to just keep it there. So this is a free ride, and I think Ethereum potentially has bottomed there. However, there could be a case as well that Ethereum or the alt market does do like a sideways up like that. Happens all the time. And I want to mitigate losing those like some money there, or actually gain some money like here in the far right left side here. This is a very this chart doesn't contain a lot of history, but you can see that every push up sometimes gets faded before it continues. um, However, I'm hoping it's one of those pushes that continues to go because it's the pivot bottom on the BTC pair. Cool. All right, Solana. Let's go to Solana here. And why did I enter here? I actually had an entry on my sub account for Solana, and I utilized again the long tool, right? And what happened on the sub account and the bot was that I had another position open, and the market was turning down a little bit, and I've calculated that if there was a large enough downturn, the account could be wiped. So I had to be careful. It's a very small account, right? So I decided I would take the Solana trade on my main account and take discretionary entries instead. And I thought to myself, okay, this is as much value that I need to extract from an additional trade. Solana is not one of my main trades, but it does have a high probability setup for continuation all the way to all-time highs from this point. But getting an entry into a pump is always a concern to me. I prefer entering at pivot bottoms, which I did here, and I took the gains up to this point here, but I needed to make another entry in order to ride the last phase of the waves once it has confirmed itself, which I believe it has. And if you look at my previous video, this structure is extremely similar to parabolic structures seen in Solana prior, like over here, if you analyze that and look closely. And also, I've acknowledged in every parabolic Solana wave, these 8-minute indicators have been really, really handy in making entries. And I did enter at this level with a wider stop. And when it went up to here, I took some profit, and then I re-added my some size, so it pushed the average order up. But I did enter around at this level before the major rise here. And this is a trade that I'm holding on to, and I'll keep that stop in profit as well and let it run as the market rages forward. Gonna have some coffee. We'll get to FTM. FTM. Okay, so I believe in the previous video I did draw this out, and it did produce a 1618. I came up, and I moved the profit. Sorry, the stop into profit slash break even. It came and it stopped me out, and I decided to watch the price action, right? And when the price action started to reverse from the golden pocket, I could have entered right into the golden pocket, but from the bounce here, I entered and I added it a little bit more as the price started to rise up with the stop underneath the 065, which I have identified as the most likely low level where the price will not come back to revisit slash close under and invalidate. And in terms of why this is a good trade to me is because if I'm analyzing the Bitcoin dominance chart, again, I've mentioned in previous videos, this 0618, 065 level is extremely interesting to me in terms of a reversal pivot point for the Bitcoin dominance, and it's at a supply zone as well. So there's been action here prior, and it acts no different to a regular price chart if I need to say so myself. Like I can go back to the Bitcoin charts in prior cycles here and just identify how important 0618 is. I took a short here in this cycle to the 0.5 level, right? As you can see, rejection from the 0618 of the major range. Excuse me. Take the major range. What do we see here? Rejection from the 0618. So keep this in your memory bank because it will be an extremely high probability trade next cycle as well. Because if you have almost a guarantee, this is the 2017 bull market, and I'm going to measure the high again like this, and what do you know? A rejection from the 0618 level without fail, right? So if you're getting the same result over and over again, and obviously um, the key fib levels become more significant on higher time frames. You watch them very closely when they start occurring, right? So back to FTM. Now that we have acknowledged that the market is probably going to start rotating to alts and Bitcoin is at 100,000 almost, um, that is a really good trade to be taking. And again, this is one of those extra trades that I am not putting too much weight over, but as you can see, the target's up above. You're risking $1,000 to potentially make 200,000 bucks on the trade, right? And add those trades over, 5, 6, 7 trades, you've got over a million already. But you're not always going to sell the top. But yeah, going on to why I took this trade. Jesus, apologies. Um, the market works in a fractal way where the flavors of each cycle kind of give you an idea of how the market will react um, moving forward within the cycle. And I'll use FTM as an example first, and then I will use Bitcoin as an example as well, just so we're on the same page. I might use a different chart so we're not um, polluting our vision with those bars there. Might be annoying. Um, cool. So where I'm going is prior into this cycle to the first FTM rally, and we can see that the structure right now is extremely similar to this right here. And am I saying this is going to play out exactly the same and this just goes like straight up? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this price structure, this wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down, the consolidation phase, which is like almost like this, right? This setup has been acknowledged by participants as something that's bullish, right? And not only will like a fractal appear here like this, it might be on another chart that appears in the same way, given the adequate macro conditions. You start to assess the setup as a more favorable one that you can put risk on, right? And when you have a high risk reward entry for potential huge expansion, take the trade. It's as simple as that. So going back on why the trade was taken, um, the altcoin macro for Bitcoin dominance looks like it was coming down, going to pivot. We've got a 0.618 bounce here, so you would make the entry on the right side of that bounce and put the stop right under. And now the reaction of the market has been quite positive, right? Why you don't want to enter later into the market, knowing how to identify these things prior, is because the volatility that starts to occur if you start to enter like here, for example, will start to really mess with your head, right? So imagine this is us here right now. You enter here, it comes down here. Your mind is going to marinate on the position for 3 days. You'll be under sometimes, you'll be over sometimes, and the price pushes up. Oh, you're up all the way here, and there is a massive spike down, which we might get in Bitcoin, like a 30% spike down, or 25% spike down, or whatever, from like the 110k region once it breaks the 100k and overextends a bit, in my opinion. We might get a huge shakeout, and that will obviously affect the alts at a higher level, and you'd hope that it doesn't take out the lows, right? So the closer you can get an entry to the lows and potentially predict a pivot in the market, the better, especially if you need to be more efficient with your capital, right? So just laying it out there, on that's how I've taken that FTM trade in particular. Now, let's move on to the next one. Coffee, obviously. We have. Oh, I need like a chart that hasn't been absolutely manhandled. Okay. Pepe. Perfect. Pepe. Pepe, I actually got an entry, a small entry, like 20 something thousand here, and it's up like 40,000. I can't remember the exact number, 38, something. Something that's not too bad up here now. But why did I take the trade? And the trade here was quite simple to me, right? We're coming out of a golden pocket, right? Similar to this one right here. I actually had a $50,000 Pepe trade here, and I took profit here way too early, and I didn't catch the bulk of that move. And I was in another coin, thank God, but I wasn't going to miss this opportunity again. And knowing where we are within the cycle, and like I understood around this time, the election time, if there was a positive result, and Pepe and Tau were my first trades, Tau being my first trade, and Pepe being my second trade, knowing that the election result being positive at the golden pocket, and also if you notice something very interesting, again, the price structure with Pepe is extremely similar to what happened prior in the market cycle, right? So if it's setting up for an inverse head and shoulders, I don't know. I didn't actually check if there was like bullish divergence. There was bullish divergence here, which is, why that was a good trade, but I wasn't entirely confident with the Pepe narrative. I'm not a meme coiner, and this is something that I'll explain in a later video. I'm really bad at meme coins. I'm like the worst meme coin trader ever, unless it's like on a centralized exchange. Like I just don't have any edge in meme coins, so I don't trade meme coins like the Solana meme coins. But in terms of this trade that's been taken, I try to add some size um, here, right? And the like again, like trying to add size into volatility is just really difficult for me. Let me find where this is, and maybe it will show you the trades here. Anyways, what was happening was I had the indicator on. I think it was like on the 5 minute or something, right? And I was adding to the trade. I was adding to this trade. It would come back down. It would come here, and then I would stop it out because just my mentor wasn't having it. But it was giving you exact entries, right? And it didn't look like it was going to pump, so I closed the ads, and the added um, the added size to the trade moved the average order a bit higher, but the closed amount is realized with the original size still being on this trade. So it's fine, right? Pepe all the way up here. Cool, cool, cool. And Towie, Mr. Tau. Let's remove some of this garbage from the chart. So where did I initiate this Tau trade? This Tau trade I actually started very early on down here, right? Once there was a bounce from the 0618 level, that's when I started to enter this position. And I have been trying to build this position here in this region, right? And you can see that my entry is actually, my average entry has been brought all the way up into this 4485 region. But I've got stops to manage my risk all the way through. Apologies for all these fucking arrows. But if I end up getting stopped out, I end up with my original size. Um, I believe below this point on the trade, right? And this is a harder stop just to help me think about whether or not I should still stay in the trade. I do have high convictions on Tau, right? And this was the first trade, and this is one of the main trades that I'll be taking. I have around like 100k in size only in Tau, but I do think that there's like a 600-ish% potential out of here. And if you add up all those trades, if you hold on to them, it ends up as a pretty big number should the targets be met. And that's the next part of this video. Let me sip the coffee and go over the targets for each one. It's really annoying having those symbols and stuff on the screen, huh? Ethereum. How are we going to find the high here? And the way that I like to think about it is first looking at the BTC chart for the ticker. All right. And this is a skill that I think most traders need to know. And if the chart presents a swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, measure it with the fib retracement tool in reverse, obviously, right? With the log turned on. And oftentimes, the significant swing high, swing low produces a 4618 level, which can oftentimes mark the top of the BTC pair of the ticker, right? Where is, oh shit, sorry, this one as well. It's not going to give you the exact top always, but it gives you a good range at which the coin may move to, right? So we're looking at a potential 200% appreciation against Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin moves 55%, 55% is like how much? 1.5, 1.5 times 3, 1.5 times 3 is, I think, 4.5x, right? In USDT value. That's how you calculate it, by the way. 4.5x from this point is around 14,000 plus, right? And where do I have my take profit for Ethereum? My take profit for Ethereum, oh my god, this is so ugly, I apologize. I'm just trying to wake up a bit here. My take profit is around at 10,000, but I'll be monitoring this. I might exit below, and that's approximately 170,000 US dollars, and I have my stop in profit already, so I have nothing to lose here. If the altcoin rally starts to rage on, that is going to be, tasty profit, in addition to other trades as well doing exceptional. Hopefully, right? My main focus on this cycle doing well, Tau, and I think I'm pretty confident on Pepe as well, because both of my entries for those were really, really good. These other trades I've taken higher into pumps, and I don't really mind if they get stopped out. Anyways, going back to the Solana trade, my target is around 600. I think it does go a bit higher than that, and I might adjust this number. This is a potential 70,000 US dollar profit. And why is my target there? Let me find the chart which has the answers, right? Which chart has the answers? Perfect, I've measured it here. So, similar to the USDT chart, right? We have a measure, in this case, of 6618 and 4618. And something that's stood out to me here has been, and we might actually go higher than 600, but what has stood out to me in particular has been the rejection at 4618, which has been mirrored in this cycle, and the 4618 level being up at the 600 700 level. And if you notice a trend here, I'm trying to undershoot a lot of my targets, right? And I can assess the level as it comes, and I might take profits slower. And should there be another like 100%, 50% or whatever, so be it. But I want to take the chunk of each move that I can find with edge and exit the market, not at the Pico top, but around near where the top is. But that is up to the assessment of the macro and Bitcoin itself, and the macro being, traditional markets and whatnot, and Bitcoin because it's the, the pulse of the crypto market. What is next? Tau. All right. So with Tau, oh yeah, part of the ads that I've been making to the trade have been because of the 0618 065 region, which has been tagged on the Tau BTC pair. And as you can see, there's like a trend here, and prices generally converge to really key levels on the fibs, and it gives high risk, high reward setups within the right context. So if we know that the altcoin pivots are about to start and you see the base being set here and the actual price structure of the USDT pair looks really good, take the trade, right? Very easy. But what isn't easy is assessing how much risk you should be putting on. And with the leverage trading accounts that I usually trade, I don't put on a heap of risk. Like, yes, they're edge cases, but also I rotate a lot of my holdings into spot, right, or profits into spot, because learning from previous cycles, um, when you do start leverage trading, you might become overconfident in a way where you utilize more of your collateral than you should, and that's not how you should be um, trading the market. What I mean by that is when the price goes up, you might think, oh yeah, there's another good trade, and you might get stopped out because of the volatility, and you start chopping up your hard work from entering at the lows in the market. And that's where majority of the work should be done, getting really, really good entries. And the importance of good entries cannot be dismissed. So, apologies. Going on to how we can measure out the potential highs for Tau. As you can see here, right, we have the 4618 from the swing here. We're going to do exactly the same thing, believe it or not, from here to here. And we see a 500% gain. And I think with Bitcoin, we have another potential approximate, I'm just going to say 50%, just to be very, very, conservative, right? So 1.5 times 5, was it? Let me double check, just so I'm not. Yep, 1.5 times 5, 1.5 times 5. We got a 7.5x in potential gains from this point. 7.5 times is 800-ish something. So probably around, you know, 4,000-ish region. So I might even bring this up to around here, the 4,000 range, maybe a little bit lower. And as I've said, there's confidence in this trade because of the AI narrative. And Tau is my largest spot bag as well. It's a very concentrated bet. And on this trade, should my position hold its size at the 4,000-ish level, or even the 3,500, which is potentially where I'll start taking profit, is 640k to 700k, and if the ATO ends up, or the tax authorities see this video, I do pay my taxes, so I'm happy to share these numbers with the people. What else do we got? Oh, this is a really good way to measure out the potential upside as well. Same principle here and here, right? And funnily enough, the 3618 region ends up around the $4,000 range, and we might even get an overextension into 6,000 ish, 7,000, but I'd prefer to take the lower end of this trade. And I've measured these values based upon Bitcoin doing 50% from its current level, right? So if Bitcoin does 50%, which it might do more, that's where it will get to should those values cross over. And altcoin tops generally come around either at the Bitcoin top or the dead cat bounce afterwards. So that's assuming we are just going to here, but potentially there is a scenario where we hit here and then there's like some sort of large consolidation, and then we go up to the $180,000 region, which would make those targets a bit bigger, right? And hopefully these positions hold and I don't get stopped out, but that always happens. You just need to position yourself best you can at the start of the altcoin cycle, and I might update the channel on that should that occur. And I'm not saying that these are guaranteed wins. It's never the case. This is just my current assessment on the market, and should it play out, then it's playing out in a very, very congruent way with my thesis, right? So, what's next? I think that's about it. With FTM, of course. Let's not forget about FTM. FTM, again, prior cycle, the wave at the bottom creates a 4618 level at the absolute peak, right? And you can see very key similarities here fractally with, and this is the start of the bull market for the altcoins post the Bitcoin all-time high, right? And you can see very key similarities with how the Tau BTC chart looks as well right now, right? Oh my god. Hopefully everybody is following along, because these thoughts may seem very scattered, but I assure you they're within reason. Alright, so you see the structure here, there's like a little bit of a shake here and a push to the lower range of the chart before pressing up, and has a structure that you can measure the 4618 level out of, right? FTM's current structure is a little bit different, and the price potential here isn't as crazy as I thought it could be, and maybe it does extend further than this, but it's looking like 200. But let's say we'll take this one instead, right? Let's take this high instead and take this low here as a more minimal lower high intra wave down, and be a bit more generous with the target for its BTC value. Also, FTM, you need to consider the market cap is a lot lower as well. So we're looking at around 6x, 6x multiplied by 1.5, 9 times, so It's like 1,000%. Is it? I think so. 9x? No, 800%. I may have been doing that wrong the entire video. Uh, let's see. FTM. FTM. Here. 800% from this level would be approximately $7, right? And these targets are within reason, right? Because the all-time high is here, and we're looking at $100, 100% appreciation from the previous all-time highs in a much larger market. So the target for FTM here would yield around 200,000, right? Add all those numbers up, and you got some juicy profits. So hopefully that has shed some light on why I've made the entries, or how I've thought about the targets. And you can watch my previous videos on my thoughts on how to figure out the Bitcoin high, and that is going to play into when I start taking profits on the alt as well. I'm not married to any of these levels, these take profit regions, but at the moment they are um, what I'll be eyeing as the price of altcoins appreciate potentially rapidly, and you can see the Bitcoin dominance starting to fall from the 0.618 level, or the golden pocket, or the rebound zone, whatever you like to call it. Hopefully that's helped, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever, and yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Peace.